Yesterday, I was thinking of other cartoon shows that I really enjoyed growing up as a kid. So I had to ask a few people that was around, did they recognize these shows? And none of them didn't. Maybe one did, if I remember correctly. And I started to wonder, did Father Time finally put his hand on my shoulder at the right age of 22? Or did these shows get pushed to the void, doomed to be forgotten? And honestly, I chose the latter. I do believe that these shows was doomed to be forgotten by the public, pushed aside because they weren't popular or wasn't the thing then to say. So I did some digging and I really wanted to find out why was these shows pushed off a cliff. Now with these shows masterclasses at storytelling? Not at all. Was the design of the characters good? Fuck no. Far from it actually. But they hold a special place in my heart. And what 10-year-old me found funny then, if I'm being honest. But damn it, these shows mean something to me. And it does to you too. That was our fanboy and Chum Chum. Yes, not too many fart jokes and butt jokes for a kid show. I'm being honest, a little weird. But damn it was funny. Did Flapjack have a drunk uncle as one of the main characters? Yes. Was it wrong? Maybe. But we all have one drunk uncle that make jokes. And we laugh and don't take him serious. And we make sure he's not around kids for too long. And, that's not a topic. I did enjoy this show growing up. Honestly, it wasn't that bad. It wasn't the best. It wasn't bad. I was able to cut my brain off and watch it and laugh at a fart joke or every now and then. But I can see how some people didn't like this show or how it was forgettable. But to me, this was the first brain rot content actually. It was before the 6 7s and the skippity toilets of the world. The show was cancelled in 2012 due to production costs and viewer backlash from sensory overload and it being weird and disgusting humor. The button fart jokes I mentioned earlier was really weird for a while. But some of the stuff wasn't that bad to me. Some people didn't like the designs of the characters of the show, which I will admit it wasn't the best. But I personally liked the duo design because back in the day when I was in high school, a lot of people called me and my skinny friend Boy Chum Chum. Sadly, I was Chum Chum. There was a big rumor that kind of damaged the show that Nickelodeon gods didn't pick up Adventure Time to fund this show, which, I mean, it was doomed to fail from the start, having to keep up with that banger. But let's be honest, what fucking show's gonna keep up with Adventure Time? Now, I get why this could have really damaged the show reputation when Nickelodeon fans could have got Adventure Time versus Cartoon Network getting it. But Cartoon Network was on a run. They was picking all the good shows then. Maze World of Gumball, Adventure Time, regular show, fucking I can go on and on about the shows that they was grabbing that really exploded Cartoon Network. Now, Robot and Monster was another one that failed and that I really enjoyed for a special reason. Besides the best friend duo and all the violence it had in the show, again, the theme to these shows failing is not memorable character design in the jokes. In these shows, not being the best, if I remember right, Robot and Monster only came on at night because of the Nickelodeon shifting the times the show was going to be aired, which to me messed with it already lower viewership it had, which made canceling season 2 a no-brainer, which making it another show cut early by Nickelodeon in 2012, which tells me this was the graveyard year for shows on Nickelodeon, with a bunch of other shows being cut or being at the end of his great run, like Planet Sheen, which I actually enjoyed. I know he wasn't no Jimmy, but his show was still fun with iCarly and the weird things going on behind the scenes with, you know, that guy. With iCarly last episode being November 2012, Victorious also wrapped up its production in 2012. And now that I'm thinking about it, that dude Dan had a lot of control in Nickelodeon that he shouldn't. I know he directed a lot of shows that we really love today. But there's a lot of weird things going on behind the scenes with that whole controversy. Also, How to Rock which I never watched actually, and I'm hard to remember the show, so this probably should have been on my list as well. Ended its production in 2012. Big Time Rush also ended in 2013, and a lot of golden shows ended around this time, which makes sense. Which makes sense why a lot of the smaller shows wasn't getting shine and was forgotten by people, because a lot of these bigger shows was either at the tail end of their run and in their production. So a lot of the focus for Nickelodeon was these bigger shows that was ending. So it was really hard to push or give grace to smaller shows that wasn't getting the viewership it needed. But at the end of the day, these shows have a place in our hearts. It makes us feel nostalgic. It makes our heart throb and us remember the old days. And if you don't, I'll be hiding under your bed tonight to put it there. When you go to sleep, so you remember Femboy and Chum Chum.